Hi, Kieran here. This is my last part of my reply to S3rpic0. Okay, so the last example you gave, S3rpic0, was about a guy on a desert island who wants to be buried with his harmonica. Again, I really enjoyed the video at this point, really well made, well presented. I think your main complaint about utilitarianism at this point in the video is about us being dishonest. For me, utilitarians, such as myself, get the honesty issue just about right, I think. I mean, utilitarians, I think there are a lot of good utilitarian reasons to follow the truth. In general, we want a harmonious and kind of sensible society, and I think trust and honesty are very important foundations of that. We want to be able to trust one another. Also, there's great utilitarian value in actually understanding the world as it is and being able to work together to develop an understanding of the world. So superstitions and things are not of good utilitarian sort of value. But yeah, we're not hard and fast about lying. We can have white lies sort of thing. Like if somebody looks absolutely terrible and says, "Do I look good today?" You don't have to say no. You don't. You don't have to be brutally honest all the time. If somebody tells you something in confidence, you don't have to sort of be really honest and sort of someone be able to tease the truth out of you by asking sort of questions. Or you don't have to reveal that you're keeping a secret, sort of thing. I mean, I generally think honesty is pretty sensible. But yeah, it only goes so far. I think you'd probably agree with that. That's what sort of people's dying wishes. Again, utilitarianism gives us some pretty good reasons to sort of stick with what people want when they die, if it isn't too difficult. Again, we want a harmonious world. We want the peace of mind of knowing our wishes will be honoured when we die, which are to do with our bodies and so on. But if somebody asks for something which is very impractical, then say like the owner of an airline asks for his or her planes to be crashed into a mountain when he or she dies, then we're not going to do that because it's just too inconvenient for the people left. I think, yeah, utilitarianism gets that kind of right as well. So I don't see in your example how, crossing those lines of telling them a lie or not fulfilling someone's dying wishes, I don't see them as, it doesn't strike me as clearly that bad to do those things. In the example also, you're not that clear on what you would do. I think if you're setting up an example to try and criticize a moral system, then you need to be clear about what you would do and how that's different to what the moral system will do. Okay, I'm not that clear about I don't quite agree, I think, with your analysis of what the utilitarian will do in the situation. Particularly, you say that because of examples like this, you might want to keep your utilitarianism secret. To persuade me to keep my utilitarianism secret, you'd have to sort of convince me that in most examples, or in most of life, people knowing you're a utilitarian is going to create more and happiness. But I really don't see that. I see a lot of utilitarian value in being explicit about it. You're much more likely to convert other people to utilitarianism. It's going to be much easier to talk to other people about utilitarian sort of calculations and justifications, and it's just going to be a hell of a lot easier and better, I think, if you're open about utilitarianism. As with most philosophies, it is, you're going to promote the philosophy by talking about it. Okay, so what would I do in the example as a utilitarian? I think what I do initially is, when he asked to be buried with his harmonica, and now you seem to be suggesting that life on the island is much easier with the harmonica, much more pleasant, or significantly more pleasant. So I would see his dying wish as pretty unreasonable. He's just inflicting pain on his friend, really, mainly by asking this. But I wouldn't necessarily go down the sort of dishonest road straight away. I mean, my future counts a lot more than his. So I think it wouldn't be the end of the world to make him face the fact that I'm not going to do what he says. So I think I would probably initially say I wouldn't even do that first. It'd be probably best to just try and persuade him or talk to him and say, I really don't want to do that. Do you really need that? I mean, why do you want to be buried with your harmonica? Try and get him to think a little bit more deeply about it. I mean, it seems I don't know. It seems a little bit of a mad request. Maybe he didn't really think it through. But then, I mean, I think if he really was insistent, give some reasons that seem to be very seem to be important to him, then I'd probably find it easiest. Again, my peace of mind over the long run is probably most important. Yeah, it's to just tell him that I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. It's just too difficult for me, given my impoverished situation, future, and lonely future. It's just very hard, mate, to do that, to bury the harmonica. But I think, again, mainly for my own peace of mind, if he does really go crazy and sort of seem really agitated and upset by that, then I'd probably half genuinely sort of say, okay, I'll bury a harmonica with you. Now after his death, I think, he really doesn't count then. And it would be a choice between facing life without the harmonica, which would be sort of boring, or facing life with this sort of guilt of having lied to your friend. I personally think, I don't know how much the harmonica, I can't really weigh these things up, but top of my head, sort of answer is I'd probably do as you said and not bury him with the harmonica. So I'll live with the fact that I lied to my friend, but I think I'd be able to justify it to myself in that his dying wish wasn't reasonable, and it's like a white lie. It's like the thing where the bloke wants to fly his planes into a mountain. It's just something you can sort of blame him more than yourself for. But that's how I'd weigh it up. It's important to realise. As I was saying in the first video, that I'm going for a kind of undemanding utilitarianism, in the sense that I'm considering my actions based on my real willpower and how much of a utilitarian I really am. I know that I can be pretty certain that I'm not going to be a perfect utilitarian. You know, I may have regrets that are not sort of sensible in utilitarian terms. We can be sort of squeamish about things. Like lying to somebody who's dead can play on your conscience, even if in utilitarian terms it doesn't make sense. I might not even on the island remain a utilitarian. So when I'm making these decisions, I am considering sort of traditional morality a bit.